Aloha, guys. You're watching GRTV. Episode 336. Look into self-defense and dealing with urban threats in this day and age, as opposed to threats in the wild, or maybe that prehistoric man would have encountered. You know, we're talking about when you see people around and everything looks good, but then you see on TV, like Law and Order, you see that there are very real existential threats both to ourselves and people that we care about. So how do we properly deal with this and not put all the responsibility on the government and the system and the perhaps the police for protecting and securing us, but we take it a next step and we look to each other and ourselves to look out for each other, just like in the jungle, meerkats. You know, they look out for each other and other animals. There's always an animal watching. That way we're not depending alone on the authorities, and furthermore, we're not depending on people who are the predators. We're not depending on the bad guys to be nice, because they're not going to be nice. Okay? And even if they're decent people, or maybe if they were decent people, maybe they're corrupted when they're under the influence, or when they're angry, or when, you know, somehow their mind is corrupted, or maybe they were molested or harmed when they were younger, and that anger is still unaddressed and pent up in their subconscious mind, and so it will reveal itself in different situations and opportunities. But I'm gonna give you a lot of information. Let's start with something fun. Let's start off with basic tactical gear that you want to have. You want to have a quick on-hand pepper spray that you can quickly take out. I keep mine right in my pocket, so it's accessible. And speaking of pockets, women in particular, I think, should always have, even if they're wearing a dress, they should always have a jean shorts underneath it. Not only for hygiene purposes, like when they're out and about, and they should be like at least up to above the knees high, but there should also be, or lengthier. They should also have pockets so that you can keep your wallet and your most valuable things. And by the way, your wallet should consist of something small. Like I carry around just one of those card cases, those business card cases with my most valuable. I carry, and this is another thing you want to carry. You want to always carry, if not a debit card, at least carry around 100. I usually carry around 120 cash at all times. 140. So I carry $100 bill, and this is for, emergencies. Let's say you need a taxi or hospital, or there's a serious emergency or a work emergency. Oh, here we go, planes, guys. We got tourism back, by the way. It's nice that everyone's coming back to the islands. It's good times. In any case, I already mentioned some stuff here. They keep going. All right. Lots of construction here. So different levels of society. You have a certain group of people who never really experience crime and conflict because they're always in safe neighborhoods, safe places. They're in cars and not buses, and they're working in reasonable hours, or they're wealthy enough so that their children don't have to work. They can go to safe environments like universities, which, by the way, aren't necessarily safe because these people get intoxicated and they take advantage of each other. And not just the men take towards the women, but gay men towards other men, women towards men, and that the women are, using their bodies to seduce and charm. And I think this is a fundamental error that women make, is they want to be sexy, they want to show off, like the human flower, show off the vagina, show off the ass, and that's great. Guys want to see it. But in the wrong context, it can be perceived as that the woman want to have, they want to have sex with the guy. Men can readily misperceive things. By the way, check this out. Looks like this is where all the trucks roll in here. Very cool, very cool. They're working away even on a Saturday. That's cool. So it's nice art there. So furthermore, there's always, like, if you let your guard down, or there isn't somebody around you with their guard up, then you become a threat, and in a way deservedly so. Just like if people get intoxicated, then in a way, what do they expect? They're gonna become targets. If you're, and by the way, I think women and men should also have their hair cut short, especially if you're in potentially dangerous areas, because here's the thing: if you have short hair, it won't get grabbed, and it's also an issue of not trying to be like too physically attractive, like women wearing makeup and jewelry. By the way, obviously another issue of self-defense. By the way, you can see how all this is preemptive measures. This is strategies on how to not be harmed, to avoid danger, avoid the wrong place, the wrong time, avoid places where alcohol is served. But then I'm going to get deeper into the psychology of it, how people are manipulated and how they are taken advantage of. Keeping in mind, a lot of molestation occurs with a close family member or friend, in terms of your age. So this is obviously you need to be aware of this. Furthermore, let's catch a ride here. Furthermore, standing 6 feet apart. All right, let's head up to the top. All right. So I think you're getting the idea, though. The idea is we gotta think about what we're doing, who we're with. And like when somebody offers you a ride or a transportation or a place to live or even a job opportunity, whatever it may be, there could be very real threats going on or potential. They might be trying to get you into a situation like, of course, the more obvious one is trying to buy somebody dinner. Like obviously it's trying to create a psychological potential where one person expects the other, to give them something back. These are general issues, but I want to try to offer some stuff that's really unique. For example, here's another, what might look to be an insignificant item, but it is called a tactical whip, a fast strike, and you just open it up, and obviously it's meant for maybe dogs coming, somebody with a knife, you whack, 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 and it may not look that significant, but it actually can work. But more importantly than that, I want to bring to your awareness that what it's really all about, guys, is it's about avoiding danger and not thinking that even if you have a firearm, not thinking that this will save you, or even if you have like a bat or like a serious weapon, not thinking that this stuff's gonna save you, that the other person might grab it, they might be armed, they may have other people. A lot of times criminals, they operate in groups, so one person might distract the person. I mean, this is getting a little far-fetched. It more only applies to like wealthy people who, obviously if you're showing off wealth, or if people know you're wealthy, or if you're a celebrity, and people are resentful of your popularity. there are these special cases where you really need to be cautious, perhaps even have a security detail. But remember that even with that, even if you're armed with plus security detail, somebody can still target you indirectly by either trying to hack you technologically, or by kidnapping some of your, somebody you care about, whatever. So, ultimately speaking, we got to be careful. We got to diversify, and you got to kind of move briskly. This is another thing. Okay, it's moving around quickly.